Hello guys, welcome to a new video. If you are new here, my name is Ogoluwa and I make videos about medical school, mental health, storytelling and everything in between. And today I'll be doing a video sharing my story on how I gained admission to study medicine in Nigeria. Enjoy! Basically in Nigeria that we have to do fasting and prayer to gain admission into university. It is such a big deal. It is so much effort and I don't know, it's just a lot and I feel like I should share my story. So for people who do not know, this is how the admission process to gain entry into universities in Nigeria goes, the typical process. There are other alternatives, but this is the typical process that everybody hopes to just go through and not go through the other alternatives. From secondary school, your last year basically of secondary school, you write the WAEC exam, that is the West African examination. Then after that, some people write NECO. In my school, we wrote NECO, right? That they write the UTME. That is the exam that is conducted by the matriculation board in Nigeria. Yes, they are the board that basically oversees admission into universities. They are like the rites of passage to gain admission. You basically have to write JAM, but not in all cases. Like I said, there are other alternatives, but this is the straight path everybody wants to go through. So you have to write UTME exam. So you write that. Then after passing your UTME exam, you write a post-UTME exam that is conducted by the university that you wish to gain admission into. Because in your JAM form, there is usually when I wrote the exam, I'm talking about when I wrote my JAM, this was how it was. There has been some form of modifications now, but there are not so many modifications, but there are some modifications. But basically in your JAM form, you have to pick a university. So maybe it can be one or two. I think there was this first choice and the second choice. So you pick, and these universities will conduct their own entrance exam. So it is your score in that entrance exam that will determine what course you get and if you even get admission into university at all. So basically that's how it goes. That's the normal pattern. So when I graduated from secondary school in 2015 from Excel College, shout out to the Excel College alumni watching this. Yes. So I graduated from Excel College in 2015 and I wrote my first JAM. Now, when I wrote my JAM, I had a lot of expectations, you guys. I had so many expectations. I hoped at that time to be, that girl that had the highest JAM score, UTME score in Nigeria, was granted scholarship to study in Russia. Like I had so many dreams. As regards schooling that time. And then I worked hard because I was really serious in my books then. That's all I had at that time. So I worked really hard and I wrote my exam. I wrote my JAM, my UTME exam. And on the day of seeing results, then I had an Android phone, but I was not so internet savvy as I am now. Yes.
That's alright.
I was not so internet savvy as I am right now, so I didn't even really know how to check it myself. So I went to the center where I registered, and then I told the guy that I want to check my JAM score. Maybe checked it, and he said, "Sister, your JAM score is 235," and I'm like, eh? It was not the main man in charge of the center that was there. It was one of the guys working with him, and then I told him that, brother, that's not my score. Maybe you should check it again. I cannot have 235. So he did. I think it was at the third or fourth time that this uncle just looked at me and said, "Sister, your score is 235. Be going home." Because I was so heartbroken. I can still remember that walk of shame back to my house that day. Like, I felt so horrible. I felt so powerless because I could not retake the exam at that point. Yeah, we used to pray. Ah, God. Remember, I and my closest friend then used to pray this prayer that God, may we never write jam twice. You guys must have prayed that prayer. Like, if you've written jam or if you're writing jam, must have been one of the prayers your parents would have prayed that long. Oh, mommy, God, or call jam, let me. In churches, they would pray it. It's a prayer point. So I was like, God, am I going to write jam? Because I knew that score was low to study medicine. So I was just out of my mind. I was losing it. And when I got home, I just picked my phone up and I just called my mother. Hello? Yeah, I'll go. So I was crying. I was shedding hot tears. So imagine your mother picking up your call and you are crying. So she was already really scared. I'm like, Mommy, I saw my jam score. Like, what did you get? So, Mommy, I had 235. She's like, oh yeah, calm down. My mom left where she was to come and meet me at home. I remember the bed I was sleeping on. I was in my brother's room. I was just crying. My dad got back. I told him. I think it was my mom that told him. And then we're just crying. And it was like, I was crying. I was not eating that night. Like, I'm not eating. Please, you guys, I have just failed the jam. I was just crying, and then he's like, my dad told me then that it's not as if he's happy about the score. He's not happy about it, of course, but that we're going to figure it out. That she just calm down. I'd not written WAEC then. I think at that time we wrote jam for WAEC, so it's like I just calm down. I should not worry that I'll write my WAEC, we'll figure it out, can you come? And I'm like, okay. I think I mourned this. I didn't want to step in school. When I go back to school, I didn't want to tell them what I got because I felt so ashamed. My other classmates were like getting 260 something, 280 something. I'm like, where did I not get this in my own school? Tori Olong. So I just wrote that one then. I wrote my WAEC. My WAEC was really, really good. I think we had 9 subjects. I had 9 distinctions. Medical school. I just had 9 distinctions. So I had 3 A's. I think 3 A in math, physics, and geography. So it was a relatively very good score. Very good score. So I was excited that, wow, I'll gain admission. This school I chose was the University of Ibadan.
You what?
You know, I feel like UI has messed a number of us up. I should do a video that should just inviting people who apply to UI at some point in their lives and got rejected, because it's going to be a very interesting video because a lot of people have been rejected. So let's continue my story. So I wrote, after writing my WAEC and I passed, next step I wrote my NECO too. It was a good score. I think I saw that one later on. It was also really good. Then it was time to write post UTME. So when I finished NECO, I was like, like all the things I've been working for in SS1, because I just started getting serious in school in SS1. So how my work in SS1? So I did paying off now. Good way, good NECO. What will Positemi bring for me? Hey, you are looking at me like. So I wrote. There was time to write Positemi, and I prepared. But I did not know, for some reason, I had no idea that we're not allowed to use calculators. So I was solving my physics, my chemistry. Did you write math? No, we write math. Biology and English. So I think those are the 4 subjects I wrote in JAM. I was solving it with calculator. And then I got to exam hall, or was it a day before, and they told us that we are not going to be allowed to use calculator. I'm like, what? Like, where do I start from, you guys? How do you do that? This, you know, if you've written these exams, you understand how this, at that point, this exam seemed like your life. It was a matter of life and death. Thinking about it now and how I'm just looking back, I'm like, Positemi jam, why? Like, are you guys kidding me? Considering how we had to write MBs, now it's now MBs that is now holding us by the neck. Let's leave that for another video. So when I was about to enter the exam, I was really, I don't know, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do my best. At that point, I'm just going to try to do my best. So I did my best. I actually did my best. And I wrote my exam in 2015. And results came out. Now, how I got knowledge of my post-UTME score is a story I'll now tell. Then my mom used to work in she had a shop in the market, and my aunt also has a shop there. So I was in my aunt's shop. My mom was also in the market, but we're all in the same place. So I was in my aunt's shop and we're just gisting and stuff. And then my mom comes into the shop and she says, Ogoluwa, your dad is around. It's time for us to go home. By the tone of her voice, I knew that something was going on. But I could not really place my hand around because I was like, oh, I'm coming. And then I entered the car. You guys, the silence that engulfed my body as I entered that car. It's just like, you know, when you walk into a pool of water. Like, let's assume there are some videos they show of standing pools, and then imagine you just walk into a pool of water and just become engulfed. That was how I was engulfed by the silence. And then we drove for about 10 minutes home, and then my dad from the driver's seat said, Ogo, we've seen your jam score, your post-UTME score. It's like these two, stern face. Ogo, we've seen your post-UTME score. Oh shit, darara. Guys, tears just started falling from my eyes. Like, I just started shedding tears. Like, hot tears. Oh shit, darara. The score was not good. It was not a good score. Like, and then he said I had 66. Now, at that point, you had not known the mark for medicine. So, but we're sure that it will not be less than 70. So we already knew that I was screwed. At that point, I was screwed. And then my dad was like, we don't know what I'm going to do. And I was just crying. I was a mess. I was a big mess in that car. I still remember that trip. I was looking out from the window and I was thinking, I became Saloni. Like, how do I'm the first child of my parents. It was their first experience with having their child in university. So you know the pressure. You know, I was how did they put this thing? I was the first trial. Like, first trial at putting your child in uni. So I got all the raw training, all the like bars. So we got home that day. I said, as usual, I was not eating. I don't used to eat though. After failure from exam, you can gel. I don't eat. Why am I eating? What's the point? So my dad was also like, the thing about it is that when I fail exams, I am so devastated that my parents already see that there's nothing they can see that can make me more devastated than I am. Like, there is nothing they can see. My shit, you guys, I was losing it. And then we were waiting for the cutoff mark, and the cutoff mark came out and it was 70. I was about 4 marks behind. I can't remember the exact scores, but I know I was about 4 marks behind. I don't know which. Maybe my score was, I know it was 60 something, but I know it was 4 marks behind, about 4 or 5 marks behind. And it was so, those months, knowing that knowledge of one thing could have made me not fail this exam, it was a devastating process. And it's one of the problems I have with examinations in Nigeria. It's not usually tailored to meeting the different circumstances of the candidates. And it's not just UTME, every exam that we write. If you notice, whatever course you're even studying, you will know that in this country, writing exam is like war. You have to, it's either your mental health or your exam. Choose one. Which of them are they paying school fees for? So it's usually that terrible. And it's really sad that that's how things are, yeah. Really, really sad. It is like that in other countries, but I just feel like it's more magnified here in Nigeria. So when we waited, we didn't know what we were going to do. We eventually said, let's go and try to see if we can use leg, We tried to use leg because my mom knew someone at that time. Maybe no, someone she knew someone. But the person was in veterinary medicine department, right? So we went to meet him and we were telling my situation. The guy said, because before then, they said the only way I could change my course was to veterinary medicine. That was the only place that there was an opportunity to study any course with my score. And then we went to the man's office that day, stating my problem. My dad followed me. And then he said, I said, he does not understand why we are keen on getting medicine. That I think it was the HOD, that he wanted to study medicine too, and he studied veterinary medicine. That veterinary medicine is one of the most prestigious courses in this country, in this world. I feel like he was trying to do an elevator pitch that I should just accept veterinary. My father, Barrister Olufemi Ajibosho, was just saying yes. When he stepped out of the office, he said, it's not my daughter that was studying veterinary medicine. And it is weird because it's really, really weird at that point because I don't like animals. I didn't know then that I did not like animals. It's just now I'm knowing. So imagine if I had actually gone for it, it would have been horrible. So we decided I was going to take JAM again, and my prayer of never writing JAM twice just entered the mud. Prayer in the mud. So I feel like that was my first introduction to being heavily depressed. I was gaining weight massively. I was just sleeping. And then I was gaining weight, and people were complaining about my gaining weight, and my admission was there, so I was going through crisis. I can't say midlife because I was not I was just a teenager. I was 17. Yeah, I was going to 17. I was 16 going to 17. So I was like, too much for a child, So one day, my dad was sitting in the living room reading newspaper as he always does, and he sees a form calling out for candidates for the pre-degree program in Olabisi Onabanjo University. Now, I need you guys to know that 2 of my aunts attended this school, and what they used to call this school is Osu. So in my head, Osu. And my dad called me that I should try it out. That it doesn't just like the idea of me staying at home for 1 year to write JAM. That feels I should just try it out, so I don't just stay at home. And 2 thoughts ran through my mind. Number 1, do I want to take the risk of staying at home for 1 year with my parents because I did not get admission, or just go somewhere, an actual salon, salon to a school, regardless of what kind of school it was? So I said, yes, sir, I'll go because that is the best option. So I decided to go, and I obtained the form for about, I think it was 8,000 naira. And ink, I don't even know what kind of ink poured on that form again. There were so many forces against me. I had to go back to where I purchased the form and tell them that was I still going to get the admission, that the form they gave, do I have to buy a new form? My parents were really pissed at that ink issue, but they had every right to be pissed actually, because I was very careless. So they said yes, I could still gain admission. And Duma, I can't remember, but I think Duma was talking about us buying another one. I can't really exactly remember, but I know that I still got admission to study for the pre-degree program in OU, and then we came to the campus. That was when my heart was broken. I was like, it was a mini campus at Agoiwe, and what is this? What am I doing? I've had the idea of the university life I want to live in, and this is all I get, you guys. This is all I actually get. Why? And my dad was telling me that I had a choice to make. Because then my reason for doing pre-degree was just to have some way to prepare for my exam to enter into Unilag to study medicine. Do you get? So I just needed somewhere to study. I don't know what the Lord had planned for me for the future. And then I decided I was going to stay, and then I started the pre-degree program, knowing that, let me just stay the 1 year and just get out. I even got to the degree program 1 month to exams. to show how indecisive I was and how late we saw the form. So I studied really hard. In pre-degree, I was very serious. I wrote JAM again, second time. And this is another story again. We're in my living room, my parents' living room, and then they were sending JAM scores to phones as text messages. And then the message just came in, and I just saw 190. You guys, I need you to know that I passed out. Yep, I actually passed out. I just fell on the floor, and then my entire family, they were in disarray. I think my dad was like, "Hey, mommy, why? Mommy, why?" My mom started speaking in tongues. Then my brothers, I can't remember what my brothers were doing, but I was just on the floor. Then I think when I came back to life, and I started wailing. You know when I didn't say I was crying. I started wailing from inside. That God, what is all this? What is this? What is this? How can I get 190? Of all things to get. And then apparently it was a general failure like we have it now, because they just started. I think that was the second year of CBT. I'm not sure, but I think it was second year of CBT. So they had not gotten themselves together. So there was an error. I don't know, maybe the marking or whatever. So JAM decided to later add 40 marks to everybody's mark. That was how bad it was, guys. 40 marks. And then that was how I was able to cross over to 200. But I knew that with that score, I was not going to get admission to study medicine during lag. So I had to do a change of university to Olabisi Onabanjo University. And I wrote my pre-degree exams, and I got I think I got 81%. So I got into medicine. And that is how today I am a 5th-year medical student of Olabisi Onabanjo University, also known as Obafemi Awolowo College of Health Sciences. That's my story. So yeah, that's basically the story of how I am here, how I got here. So just in case I don't know, this is not an aspire to perspire to acquire to require. No, I just basically want to say that Nigeria has conditioned us to a system where we have to say these things, because it's not usually the path that you expect to gain admission into university that usually happens, right? There are a lot of alternatives. I came in through pre-degree, there is the JUPEB, there is the A-levels. There are many things to explore, and doing these things does not mean you are dumb. It doesn't mean the candidate is dumb. The candidate is just a victim. Yes, the candidate is a victim of a number of things that are wrong, or the candidate it just happened, really. And there are other alternatives. That's why we have this alternative. So explore these other alternatives, and trust me, you'll be fine and you'll be good. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, to comment. Whatever it is, just do it. Please share my video. Enjoy. To be alone. Watch my video and subscribe. Thank you very much, and have a great time. Bye. The present high failure goes, hey, what is wrong? What is wrong? I don't know what is wrong, you guys. I don't know. But let's start again. Can we do this again? Okay. Relatively having. Bye. She's sleeping. So why I had that dream, or why I had the audacity to have hey, Jesus is Lord. Why I had recently, there was like